another creator. She goes by Alexers T. And I was helping her do research on this guy, Malik, who was cleared videos that were sexual, and his target audience was kids. So we wanted to expose this. We wanted to expose this guy because he was clearly being extremely inappropriate, had a whole YouTube talking about how his first experience was when he was 10 and encouraging kids to do that. So we wanted this guy down. She reached out to Aunt Karen. Karen basically made a video, and she did do good. I'll give Karen credit where credit is due. She's the one that ultimately was able to help us to get this guy's account gone and get this guy to leave all social media altogether. But afterwards, when the court case went through with Uni went on to Karen's live and doxed me on her live and was giving all kinds of misinformation. Uni always wanted to make it seem like I took him to court for this or that. He gives multiple reasons, but it's always to try and make it look like I was being racist, which that had nothing to do with it. I basically put a no contact order against Uni because he was handing out my phone number and having people text me and call me and harass me, even off of the app. He was contacting my friend who was off by police. He was contacting their family members with Nona Mama. He was harassing me and people that I knew off of the app. So that's why I filed a no contact order against Uni. So, and that's why he won't talk to me about it. He won't ever address things because I have tons of proof of what he did. But Karen allowed that, and I reached out to her afterwards and I said, hey, I'm one of the people that moved you with Malik, and you just allowed this guy Uni to dox me in your live, and I sent her proof showing that Uni was lying. Never heard from her again. She didn't care. She didn't care. Karen only cares about what gets her attention. And of course, I mean, I hate to say this, but I do feel that this is partially true. Uni's, first of all, you put me in the sun next to Uni, he's gonna turn pink. And I don't know if you've ever seen me, but I get very dark in the sun. But Uni's whiter than me.
Hold on for a second, Joe. Who are you talking about? Joe is a blatant liar, and why are you in my guest box?
That's Jenny. That's one of Jenny's accounts.
Oh, Lord. Aren't you on vacation? Aren't you on vacation? Like, aren't you watching
Jenny.
up in the
So are you, Jenny?
Minnesota? Like, why are you
Jenny,
here?
I'm sorry, Jenny, you're Puerto Rican, but why do you try to claim that you're something more, like, Jenny tries to claim that she's more oppressed than she really is, because let's give her credit, she's a brown person, but why is she trying to say that she's black? Because a police officer would treat her much more kind than they would an actual black person. She wouldn't want the struggles that an actual black person goes through. She also got a black man arrested based off of nothing but her story, which, I'm sorry, the more you look into it, if she wants so much attention, I'll bring attention to that, because I believe 99.9% of women, but Jenny's story doesn't add up. And considering that Jenny likes to harass and stalk people and then play victim and accuse everybody of SA, she's actually asking to try and get custody. She's trying to get a 14-year-old boy. She's trying to get custody, and the boy is like petrified of her. He doesn't want anything to do with her, but she's sitting here saying, oh, I'll take custody of your kid. It's weird. It's really weird. Like, she's made very sexual comments towards one of Brandy's kids, and then she's like trying to get custody of the other one, and the kid's like, I don't want her as my mom. What the hell?
Yeah.
I know.
It's really weird.
She is the same woman that posted my niece sexual assault story.
Yeah, she
trying to weaponize it.
Listen, you do any kind of research about anybody that jumps from 14 feet from a second-story window, and if they land on their feet, they're going to shatter their bones. They're going to have severe injuries. But somehow she got some racist doctor or something to side with her and say that a little red mark on your wrist and a sore back is consistent with jumping out of a second-story window. No, it's not. No, it's not. You can do research and find that. No, that's not. That's not what is consistent with jumping out of a second-story window. You know, in today's day and age, we have the internet at our hands, and we could do research on stuff like this. Too bad they didn't back in that day when that case happened.
She jumped out a 20-story window?
14.
No way.
14 feet.
14?
Landed on her feet and only had a little red mark on her hand and a sore back. And supposedly she got some doctor to side with her and say that that was consistent with jumping out a second-story window. You'd have to practice how to land a certain way. And even if you did, and even if you landed that certain way, chances are you would still have pretty severe injuries. But, you know, the system back then, when she would get pulled over and whatnot, even the police marked down her identification in some instances as white. In some instances, I guess in other instances they labeled her as Latino. But when you're talking about a woman that's white presenting in court and her appearance and her demeanor versus a black man, this I believe that they gave this black man the short end of the stick. And when you look into the case, he didn't get a jury. It was like really bad legal advice, and all they went by was Jenny's story and her presentation in the courtroom and her presentation at the hospital. There was no DNA.
Do you want to have this conversation with her? No? Or
no.
Yeah?
No, because because police are involved with her, and I don't want contact with her. I can show you screenshots where I've had about 5.5 hours total of conversation with her, and all she did was use it for content. All Jenny wants is attention. If you look at the pull up for justice, there's like an underscore under each word, but it's pull up for justice crew, and crew is spelled with a K, K. Oh, that's weird. And a 1 and a 2. But if you look up those profiles, that's Jenny. Feel free to do whatever you feel you need to do with those profiles. But look up on those profiles, you'll see she's playing all kinds of advocate and whatnot. I forgot. Sorry, totally got a brain fog. I wanted to go somewhere with that, but I'm not going to have conversations with Jenny. I've tried about 5.5 hours with her.
I remember her screaming at the phone like she was mad.
Yeah, and listen, that was the first time that I had probably yelled or screamed at anybody in over years, because I'm not. But she irritated me so much with her nonsense, the deflection, the gaslighting, the sociopath behavior. It was so crazy. I got to a point where I hadn't been in years. She irritated me that much because I truly wanted to try and find some kind of resolution with her, but there is no resolution with Jenny. She's just a psychopath that wants attention, in my opinion.
Because I need you to get out of the 60s, okay? Nobody's a punk, okay? Who says
Listen,
that?
this is the woman that made a video with my friend who is offed by police officers. She made a video with that officer and my friend who's a victim of police brutality singing and dancing in a video. This is the integrity of this woman. This is the type of person this is. I don't care how much of a beef you have with me. That's a victim of police brutality who is no longer here, and he doesn't have a voice. Your pull up for justice page is nothing but attention seeking for yourself. You're a fake activist. When you do that to a victim of police brutality, you stand for nothing. James was a full ass grown adult, and he was only about 4.5 years younger than me. I moved to Florida, and all my public records will show this. I moved to Florida in November 1992. I didn't even meet James until 1.5 years after I moved to Florida. James was born June 27th, 1974. I know math isn't your strongest subject, Jenny, because you told on yourself when you tried to convince me that you were somebody named Jenny Albizu, and you tried to convince me you were a lesbian. But yet Omar and what's his name?
Benefactor.
She's only got boyfriends. Like, she lies out her freaking butt, left and right. So again, do the math, Jenny. I know math isn't your strong subject at all, and that's how you told on yourself and gave away your real age.
That's why she snapped off in that car.
Oh, yeah, and then as soon as she got busted, she tried to accuse me of being involved in her daughter's SA because she got busted and she got her feelings truth. And this is what she does. She accuses anybody of SA, and I fully believe that the man that she got locked up is 99.9% of women, but I do not believe Jenny Torres. I do not believe her at all. I believe that he is actually the victim.
My name, right?
And I believe that she literally labeled him just like she does everybody else because she's got a habit of doing this. She's got a bad habit of labeling people as committing SA when she gets told no or when she gets her feelings hurt or when she gets exposed for the foul things that
I
she's
remember
doing.
Alicia said the same thing about her.
Yeah,
Alicia
Alicia,
said the
I
same
wish I
thing.
could have conversations with Alicia. I would love to talk with Alicia because Alicia came after me in this situation for James, but I know she did it for other people.
I'm pretty sure she watching. Alicia watches my lives.
I would love to have a
Reach out to
conversation
you
with
if you
Alicia
will.
because I was really upset with Alicia, and I had nothing to do with Alicia for a long time because of that. But I fully believe that she just was being part of the mob mentality and following along, just like Jenny and a lot of them do. I mean, the mob mentality here, here she is spreading false information, and they're all doing it. They hear a rumor from their friends, they want to believe it, they believe it, so they spread it. And then when you get 20, 30, 40, 50 people spreading the same rumor, even if it's not true and there's no proof, other people believe it.
Jenny, you really mad in these comment sections. You like really typing the way you trying to talk.
She doesn't, and she'll call everybody a pussy, but yet she's too afraid to even admit her own
You
information.
know how much spit you lose every time you do that? It's hilarious. Oh my god.
I mean,
She really be in her feelings real deep.
well, please think about it. Here's the thing about Jenny. She's smart, but she's not smart. Like
That's what I be trying to tell her.
dude, she's the reason that I found her. She is the reason that I found her.
You
She got
found
too
me.
brave and too confident, thinking that nobody knew who she was, where she was, and she posted a live video one day, and I was like, man, I know all those landmarks. She even tried to convince me that they weren't the real landmarks, that
Yeah.
he was in other places in
Oh, you
America.
didn't see her new vacation video?
No, what is she going back to the dirty water?
She
to
went
be?
right back to it.
Jenny, you know what, Jenny? Go to if you want
She built the whole place this time.
Jenny, if
Plenty
you
of
want some good
landmarks.
suggestions for your place, there's a place called the Natural Bridges. Go there. Like, go get some actual hiking in. You've got beautiful mountains up in your area. I used to live in that area. That's why I was able to find you. I recognized all those landmarks. I lived up there before I moved to Florida, Jenny. In fact, I moved from that area at the end of 1992, November 1992. James, did she get this banned? Oh, no, you paused. So James would have been, if he was born in June of 1974, and I moved to Florida out of Springfield area in November of 1992, James was already 18 and a half at that point, and I didn't even meet him for another year and a half. So guess how old he was when I met him? Yeah, 20. And we were both very young. I was born in 1969. We were only about 5 years apart about. So what's wrong with that? And you want to say I groomed him. He was fully out at that point, Jenny. In fact, he always
That
had
was
rape on
Connecticut.
his car since I met him. He was fully out. Nobody groomed anybody. But you want to set that narrative because you want to target a victim of police brutality. That's why you're so the type of person that would make a victim sing next to the officer who took him out of this world. He doesn't have a voice. What did he do to you? Nothing. You just want to use a victim to try and get to me. You don't want a victim to get justice. So what do you actually stand for when you're siding with the police? When you're silencing a victim's story, what do you stand for? You stand for nothing. So all your fake-tivism on your page isn't even sincere because you only do it for attention. Because if you're willing to do that to a victim of police brutality that was only offed for being gay, because he wasn't breaking any laws, and because the officer did know that he was gay before he asked him to get out of the water, when his aunt said to him about getting upset with news from an ex-boyfriend, oh yeah, you want to label me as that ex-boyfriend, huh, Jenny? Because that helps your narrative. But the problem is James and I were together for about 5.5 years and broken up for 13. Do you think he didn't date somebody else during those 13 years, Jenny? How come you don't put out your own information, Jenny? How come you dox everybody else, but you don't dox yourself? Huh, Jenny? Who's the pussy? Jenny? I think it's you. Because if you were really so tough, the person that you're constantly harassing, you're going after Brandy all the time, trying to tell Brandy, you're literally asking Brandy's 14-year-old son to contact you and that you'll take custody of him. But you're labeling Brandy and Brandy's husband as SAers and CAers when you're sitting out here telling a stranger that you're telling a stranger, Jenny, oh, you're telling a 14-year-old boy, reach out to me, I'll take custody of you. That's creepy. That's creepy. People need to keep their eyes on you.
Take
Jenny.
the.
They need to keep their eyes on you. That's very much predator behavior. That is child predator behavior. And I have concerns. So I don't ever really want to have Jenny in a box to have a conversation. I've tried to have plenty of conversations
You
with her.
liar.
Jenny, what are you doing trying to reach out to a 14-year-old and trying to tell him that you'll take custody? He's already made it clear he doesn't want anything to do with you. So did her husband, who you keep trying to say you'll help him leave her. Like, leave her husband alone. Leave other people's husbands alone and other people's children alone. That's creepy. That's weird. That's very much predator behavior.
Joe, you over here snapping on her.
Don't get me started, dude. Don't get me started.
She abused her children. Anyway.
My bad.
Oh, hold up. Can I bring up screenshots?
Sure, you sure can. You sure
Oh,
can.
shit.
I'll put you on the big screen.
Oh, this might be. All right, let's see. I got to figure out how to do this. Man, I am not good at this shit.
You should
Settings.
see the effects. Yeah, you should say effects or something like that.
Yeah, I got to figure it out.
Slide over to green screen.
Is it background player?
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll figure it. Dang, I can't use this page.
It's okay, man. I'm not good with all these new.
I'm gonna help you out. Give me a second. I can't even use this
Poor
page.
Jenny. So here, yeah, Jenny was in a conversation with me, and we were both recording it. I at least had the decency to tell her up front before the conversation got started that I was recording. She didn't have that decency. So she didn't even legally tell me she was recording it ahead of time, but I did, so that my copy of the recording is actually legal. Hers is actually not. See, I know about recorded statements because I have to do them for part of my job.
All right, so you see your box. Hit your box. The little box just slide up from the bottom.
The little boxes slide up from the bottom. The arrow?